So I know a lot of times when someone gets a massager, they look at it and they're like, this is the weirdest thing. This is a foot massager, what am I supposed to do with this? Today is all about exploring different ways that you can use the massager. The best thing for you to do to get started is to just put your foot on it, play around, and see what feels good. So this first minute, we're gonna do some exploration of trying to find those tough nooks and crannies where you have a lot of tension that you don't even realize it. So first thing I'm doing here is just moving the inside of my arch against this high peak. So I'm putting the inside of my arch on this really high portion and leaning my body weight down into it. I'm already hearing a lot of like crunchy, crackling sounds, which is a really great sign, and honestly, it just feels so good to do it. That's a great place to get started. And as you're playing around with finding the right places in your foot, another thing to think about is the pace that you're moving your foot on it. So is it feeling better when you're going faster or slower? Is it feeling like one direction, like moving your foot down like this, or moving your foot towards your body like this, or these places where you're able to get more into those nooks and crannies of your foot. Another place I really like to go is putting my heel on this lower peak. And sometimes I'll do a little bit of a glide back and forth. Other times I'll put it down and rotate into it so I can really get into, again, that really deep spot of my foot. One other place that I like to try and figure out whether or not there's tension is the ball of my foot. I try and find that tension. Sometimes it's hard for me on the low peak to figure out where that tender spot is. So I might sometimes use this high peak to really get in there, but the high peak can also be a little bit aggravating, especially if my feet are already kind of sore. Trying to figure out which of these peaks is really best suited for you. It might differ based on the part of your foot. It might differ based on how you're feeling that day. Lots and lots of different variables that can change how you're feeling from one day to the next. Now I'm just gliding the inside of my foot, really the meaty part of my heel along this taller peak. And I'm putting a lot of pressure in there. That's the other thing for you to think about, is how much pressure are you putting through? When I see a lot of people first use the arch massager is really far out. They're all the way out here and their leg is extended. You're really not able to get enough body weight to put force and pressure through your foot. So make sure that you're sitting down and you're able to lean your body weight down and over the top of that massager so that you can get really the right amount of pressure. All right, so we have 5 more seconds of this free-for-all guided massage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great job today. Now remember, it's really important to experiment with the massager, figure out those nooks and crannies in your foot where you're feeling tender, and play around with it.